Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I am Estelle, and to the OGs, thank you so much for unwavering support. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so you're notified each time a new video goes up. So today, let's talk about the K1 visa process. Not the whole K1 visa process, but for those in the K1 visa process that have newly arrived in the America, in the abroad, for those that are newly arrived or newbies on the K1 process who have just arrived in the United States, how to apply for your social security. Yes, how to apply for your social security. If this is something you're interested in, stay tuned and let's dive right into it. A heart speed. So what is a K1 visa? It is a non-immigrant visa that allows a foreign fiancé of a US citizen to enter into the United States for the purposes of getting married. So with a K1 visa, if you enter the United States, you're supposed to get married within 90 days of arrival. So within this 90 days of entering the United States, you can apply for a green card to become a permanent resident of the United States. But that is not what this video is focused on. If you are in the K1 process and you've not seen my other videos on the K1 visa application process, interviews and everything, I will link the playlist somewhere here for you to go through all the K1 videos. One of the most important steps after you enter the United States on a K1 visa or a 90-day visa is to apply for your social security number. This 9-digit number is very essential for many aspects of your life here in the United States. It helps you in working legally, filing taxes. You will need that to open a bank account and to access other government services. It is very important that you apply for your social security number as early as possible, or just some few days after you settle in on a K1 visa. If you would want to work in the United States, which I'm sure you would want to, you need to apply for your social security number. The good news is that if you're on a K1 visa, once you enter into the United States, you are automatically authorized to work. Like, you can work. You have the right to work. But without a social security number, you cannot work. Okay? You know there are people who come to the United States and you are not authorized to work. But if you're on a K1 visa, you are authorized to work, but you cannot work without a social security number. So enough said about all the K1 visa and social security and its importance. Right now, let's delve into the various steps you can take to apply for a social security number here in the United States on a K1 visa or as a K1 visa holder. The very first step is to put your documents together. You need to put every document together just as you put them together when you are applying for your K1 visa. This one also needs a number of documentation. You need your it's not a cumbersome process, okay? Applying for the social security number, it's one of the easiest processes if you're on a K1 visa. So it's not as cumbersome or complex as all the processes you've already been through before coming to America. You need your I-94, which is the arrival or departure records. When you come into the country, the day you arrive in the United States and everything, it's on a certain form which is called the I-94. You would need that. This can be easily printed online. If you go to USCIS, I think they'll ask for your details, and if you put your name and I think your number. I did this a while back, so I've forgotten the process, but if you go to USCIS page, there should be a form that you fill and then it produces your I-94. You also need your birth certificate. As always, you need your birth certificate. And then you need proof of legal status, which is your maybe visa. I think you can use your, once they see the visa in your passport, I think that is enough proof. But one thing you should know is that you should apply for this before your visa expires. Okay, I made a mistake and I started the process after my visa expired. So I couldn't get it immediately I came. I had to wait until I started the adjustment of status process. So there are two ways you can apply for the social security number. I think the very first and most important step, I didn't do this, but I'm just putting it out there that it is very crucial for you to get your social security number as soon as you enter the United States. I made a mistake and waited until my K1 visa expired, which is the 3 months. Remember, your visa is a 3-month visa. It expires after 90 days. I made a mistake and mine expired before I went to the office, and they said, no, your visa has expired, so we cannot put in your application. But what you should do is that make sure your visa is still valid and apply as soon as possible. But the other means you can do this is do the adjustments of status process, and that is a bit longer to get than if you go and put in the application before your visa expires. So that's just a tip I'm putting out there. Also, with the documents you're supposed to send, if you're already married before applying, make sure you send your marriage certificate. Okay, make sure you send your marriage certificate to the Social Security office. So once you have all these documents ready, the next step, which is the step 2, is to go to a Social Security Administration office. It's simply called the SSA office. Okay, so if you're finding it difficult to locating an office, just go online and find the nearest SSA office around you. One thing about the United States is that the system, the addresses and everything works. So once you put in your code, your zip code or your area, it should pull up the nearest offices or office around you. It shouldn't be difficult finding one, and you need to go there in person. One tip is that you do not even need to go there with your spouse. You can just go there by yourself and you'll be sorted out. They don't need any proof of maybe your spouse or anything. But I know one thing is that most of us, when we come, it's our spouses or our spouses' relatives who take us to places. So yeah, of course, if they are driving you there, then they can go in with you. I went in with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was so good. I mean, when I came settling in, she took me everywhere I needed to go, even for my biometrics. During my adjustment of status, for my biometrics and everything, she took me everywhere. So yeah, shout out to my mother-in-law. I'm really grateful for all the help. So once you get to the office, be prepared to wait just a little bit, because they will just have a brief look at your documents. As I already mentioned, it's a straightforward process. It's not, there are no long queues. Well, it depends on the day you go there. There might be other administrative processes that might delay a bit, but there are no long queues. It's generally a straightforward process. So one thing also is that you can fill the SS5 form. That is the form you fill to present. You can download it on the SSA page, web page or website, but you can also go into the office and fill it there. So whichever works for you, okay? Whichever works for you. You can download it and fill it at home before going, or when you go to the office, they can still give it to you to fill there. So just feel free, no rush. It's just that maybe if you fill it and go there, then the process will be much quicker, because you do not need to fill a form there. Okay, maybe you need to take your time and fill it at home. That's also good. That's also perfect. It's a simple form: your name, your date of birth, and other personal information. It shouldn't be anything you probably need someone else to help you fill. Okay, so the next step is to submit this form and all the other documents I've already mentioned to the Social Security Administrative Representative, and your document will be processed. So the final step is to come back home and wait for your Social Security number. You would receive this in your mail. They would not have to call you back to the office or anything. They would post it to your mail box, and you will receive it there within 2 to 4 weeks. It shouldn't take much time. Within 2 to 4 weeks, you should be able to receive that in your mail. So at this point, all you need to do is to wait and keep an eye on your mailbox to see when it comes in. Because you're not going to have any notification that is being sent or anything. So the only way you can see it is when it comes as a letter in your mailbox. That is why you must provide an accurate address on your forms, an accurate address, so that it doesn't go somewhere else. So now that we've gone through the process, let's answer some of the questions people have been asking. Someone asked, can I work as soon as I get to the United States without my Social Security number? Yes, you can work, but you will not be getting any payment. It will be maybe a voluntary service, voluntary work and stuff like that, but you are authorized to work but you cannot get paid until you have your social security number. I hope that helps. Someone is also asking, do I really need the social security number if I don't plan to work in the United States? No, you don't need it, but it is important, as I mentioned, that you need this for opening of bank accounts and access to other government services. You need it for other things. It's not only for work. So it is prudent to have it. Someone is asking if they can apply for the social security number before they marry their US fiancé. It's a yes and a no. No, you cannot apply for it until you are here in the United States. And yes, you can apply for it even on your K1 visa. When you arrive in the United States, even without your marriage ceremony, you can apply for it in your name, okay? All they need is the documents I already mentioned. When you send that, you can apply for your social security number. Also, there's a conflict. People are saying they want to use their husband's names and all that. Once you get married, if you've gone through the process of name change and everything, then of course you can use your husband's name to apply for it. But once you've not done that and you've not already married, like you just arrived in the United States and you are yet to get married within the 90 days, when you're applying for it, it is better you use your name that you were born with, or the name on your passport. It is better you use that. And also remember that you must get married within 90 days. If not, there are consequences to not marrying within the 90 days before your visa expires. You can be sent back home. You can be deported back home. So that's just a word of caution. I wish you all the best in your K1 process. Let me know if you have any other questions concerning this, and I will be kind enough to answer your questions. But if you need any further information, make sure you go to the USCIS page. I am not a visa expert. I am just putting this video out there because I've been through the process and this was what I did. All the best in your application, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.